Recruiting Command. Today marks a special occasion as we uncase the colors for the newly established United States Army Recruiting Command. We are delighted to have several family, friends, and distinguished guests here with us today. Please hold your applause until all guests are recognized. Mrs. Stacy Davis, spouse of Lieutenant General Davis. Mrs. Heather Monday, spouse of Command Sergeant Major Monday. The Honorable Troy Koch, Judge Executive, Meade County, and Army Reserve Ambassador. The Honorable Steve Bratcher, Kentucky's 25th District. Command Sergeant Major Raymond Harris, Command Sergeant Major, Transformation and Training Command. Lieutenant General Charles Constanza, Commanding General, 5th Corps. Command Sergeant Major Philip Blaisdell, Command Sergeant Major, 5th Corps. Major General Darrell Hood, Commanding General, United States Army Training Center in Fort Jackson. Command Sergeant Major William Schoaf, U.S. Army Training Center in Fort Jackson. Mrs. Elizabeth Hinson, spouse of Major John Hinson, 1st Theater Sustainment Command. Mrs. Nicole Lepley, spouse of Command Sergeant Major Adam Lepley, 1st Theater Sustainment Command. Major General Michael Daughtry, Commanding General, 80th Training Command. Colonel Retired Michael Hauser, Army Reserve Ambassador. Command Sergeant Major Christian Davis, Command Sergeant Major, 100th Training Command Division. Brigadier General Maurice Barnett, Commanding General, United States Army Cadet Command and Fort Knox, and spouse Tara. Command Sergeant Major Darrell Walls, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Cadet Command in Fort Knox. Brigadier General Sean Crockett, Deputy Commanding General, United States Army Cadet Command, and spouse Natalie. Brigadier General Jennifer Walkowitz, Deputy Commanding General, U.S. Army Center for Initial Military Training. Command Sergeant Major Michael McMurdy, United States Army Center for Initial Military Training. Brigadier General Stephen King, Deputy Commanding General, United States Army Cadet Command. Brigadier General Eric Vandenbosch, Deputy Commanding General, United States Army Recruiting Command, and his spouse Annette. Brigadier General Sarah Dudley, Commanding General, United States Army Recruiting Division. Command Sergeant Major Danny Basham, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Recruiting Division. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Chad Bowen, Command Chief Warrant Officer, United States Army Recruiting Command. Command Sergeant Major Faith Alexander, Command Sergeant Major, Army Enterprise Marketing Office. Mr. Juan Renaud, Deputy Commissioner, Kentucky's Department of Veteran Affairs. Ms. Lynn Romans, Green and Gold Congressional Aide. Congressman Morgan McGarvey, Kentucky's 3rd District. Mrs. Barbara Prophet, Fort Knox Gold Neighbor. Mr. Gene Gudenkauf, Fort Knox Gold Neighbor. Mrs. Amy Grimm, Fort Knox Gold Neighbor, and her spouse David. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me with a warm round of applause to welcome all of our USREC friends and community partners. Thank you. The official party for today's ceremony are General David Hodney, Commanding General, Transformation and Training Command. Lieutenant General Johnny Davis, Commanding General, United States Army Recruiting Command. And Command Sergeant Major Shade Monday, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army Recruiting Command. The music for today's ceremony is performed by the United States Army Recruiting Division Band, joined by members of the 323rd Army Band, Fort Sam Zone, under the direction of Sergeant First Class Chris Hartsock. Also participating in the ceremony are the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy Color Guard, led by Staff Sergeant Tanner Wilson, and the United States Army Recruiting Division Salute Battery, led by Captain Sam Davis and Sergeant First Class Kyle Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation by Chaplain Colonel Jerry Hall, Command Chaplain, United States Army Recruiting Command, and remain standing for honors in the playing of our national anthem. Today, General Hodney defers honors to General Davis.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we invite your presence here today as we mark this historic moment in the activation of the newest iteration of the United States Army Recruiting Command. With the changing of a patch, the outward symbol of our command may change, but what will not change is the remarkable character and dedication of our people. Our soldiers, DA civilians, and contractors alike play a vital role in preserving liberty and defending our nation. May you always lead us to maintain the highest standards, to make the most ethical decisions, and to value the welfare of those in our command in pursuit of our mission. Inspire our marketing to help future generations of Americans see the value that service and commitment bring to our nation. In our talent acquisitions, active and reserve enlisted recruiting, and commissioning programs, may you enable us to find those future soldiers who will best embody our Army values and serve with honor. Ensure that in our conduct of initial training, America's sons and daughters are prepared and ready for any adversary we may face in the defense of this great nation. And so be with us now as we celebrate this momentous occasion. Pour out your blessings upon our leadership and all those who gather here today, and all future generations of soldiers who will serve in this great command. I ask these things in your most holy and precious name. Amen.
Please be seated. The United States Army Recruiting Command, USAREC, has a proud history of service, innovation, and dedication to building the Army. For decades, USAREC has been the cornerstone of the Army's talent acquisition efforts, ensuring that the force remains ready, resilient, and capable of meeting the nation's challenges. USAREC's most recent transformation started in October 2023, when Army senior leaders announced an effort to increase the efficiency of the Army recruiting enterprise. On February 1st, 2024, Headquarters Department of the Army established USAREC as a direct reporting unit, marking a significant milestone in its evolution. Army Enterprise Marketing Office, United States Army Cadet Command, and enlisted recruiting were aligned under this headquarters. USAREC's transformation reflected the Army's commitment to modernizing its recruiting enterprise and aligning it with strategic priorities of the Army of 2030. With direct guidance from Army senior leaders, USAREC continues to align recruiting strategies and officer sessions to meet the Army's evolving needs, ensuring the right talent is brought into the force. On May 1st, 2025, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll and Chief of Staff of the Army General Randy George announced the Army's transformation initiative to rapidly change the Army's structure into a leaner, more lethal force. As part of this initiative, the Army announced the consolidation of two four-star headquarters, United States Army Training and Doctrine Command and United States Army Futures Command, into one command responsible for force generation, development, and design, the Transformation and Training Command, commonly referred to as T2COM. As part of the broader T2COM order, HQDA charged USAREC with overseeing the entire accessions process, from applicant engagement to initial entry training, creating a seamless pipeline for future soldiers. On August 28, 2025, the United States Army Recruiting Division conducted an Assumption of Command ceremony, relinquishing the USAREC Commanding General dual-hatted duties of commanding the recruiting enterprise and enlisted recruiting. On October 2nd, 2025, T2COM was officially established to oversee three subordinate commands: Combined Arms Command, Futures Concepts Command, and Recruiting Command. Today, we officially established United States Army Recruiting Command, the Army's primary force generation command responsible for active and reserve enlistments, officers' accessions, marketing, innovation, and initial entry training. The United States Army Recruiting Command's subordinate commands now include the United States Army 80th Training Command, established in August of 1917, located in Richmond, Virginia, and led by Major General Michael Daughtry and Command Sergeant Major Rogelio James, Jr. The United States Army Recruiting Division, established in October of 1964, located in Fort Knox, Kentucky, and led by Brigadier General Sarah Dudley and Command Sergeant Major Danny Basham. United States Army Training Command, established in 1973, located at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and led by Major General Darrell Hood and Command Sergeant Major William Schoaf. United States Army Cadet Command, established in April of 1986, also located at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and led by Brigadier General Maurice Barnett and Command Sergeant Major Darrell Walls. The United States Army Center for Initial Military Training, established in September of 2009, located in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and led by Lieutenant General David Francis and Command Sergeant Major Michael McMurdy. And the Army Enterprise Marketing Office, established in August of 2019, located in Chicago, Illinois, and led by Brigadier General Matthew Brayman and Command Sergeant Major Faith Alexander. The activation of Recruiting Command represents not just a structural change, but a renewed commitment to the mission of recruiting the best and brightest to serve in the United States Army. It underscores the vital role USAREC plays in shaping the Army's future and ensuring the force remains the most capable and lethal in the world. As we celebrate this historic moment, we honor the dedication of the soldiers, civilians, and leaders who have carried USAREC's mission forward. Together, we look to the future with confidence, ready to meet the challenges ahead and continue building the Army of tomorrow. The design of the United States Army Recruiting Command flag consists of 3 stars that represent the highest rank in leadership for the Recruiting Command, while the red pentagon refers to the organization's higher headquarters. The 5 sides of the pentagon represent the command's mission to market, talent acquisition, enlist, commission, and conduct initial training. And the Liberty Bell is a long-standing symbol for the Recruiting Command and highlights its role in preservation of liberty and the defense of our nation. We will now uncase the command's colors and conduct the Assumption of Command. The Assumption of Command ceremony is presenting of the unit's colors to the new commander. These colors represent not only the heritage and history of the unit, but also the unity and loyalty of its members. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority and represent their responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there also are the colors. The Command Sergeant Major of the unit is the keeper of the colors and principal advisor to the commander. As a senior enlisted soldier in the unit, he is the spokesperson for both the soldiers and civilians of the command. An Assumption of Command is a ceremony adapted from the Change of Command ceremony. The passing of the colors has several distinct parts, and each with its own significance. The Command Sergeant Major passes the colors to the senior commander. The senior commander now possesses the new colors, symbolizing the beginning of the new organization and its mission. The senior commander passes the colors to the incoming commander, signifying the passing of his trust and confidence, as well as responsibility for the newly assembled unit, its new mission, and its soldiers and civilians. Finally, the colors are passed back to the Command Sergeant Major, showing the confidence that the commander's placed in the non-commissioned officer corps. This is also the Command Sergeant Major's first act of allegiance to the new commander. Under the provisions of Army Regulation 600-20, the undersigned assumes command of the United States Army Recruiting Command. Signed, Johnny K. Davis, Lieutenant General, United States Army. Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General, United States Army Transformation and Training Command, General David Hodney.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, And that's a long list of friends and family here at the Fort Knox, so appreciate that. Family and friends, everyone who took time to share in this important event, good afternoon and welcome. Today we activate U.S. Army Recruiting Command and honor its extraordinary legacy alongside General Johnny Davis and Command Sergeant Major Shade Monday. This realizes a vision that began a couple of years ago. While the vision for this new version of U.S. Army Recruiting Command well preceded the recent activation of the Army's newest command, the U.S. Army Transformation and Training Command, it's very much an integral part of that journey. And today's ceremony is an essential step towards T2COM establishing itself across echelons. T2COM now hosts 3 major subordinate commands, representing the Army's transition from a legacy assembly line to generating capability to something that more represents an agile production model. This new relationship among organizations is necessary to deliver capability to the Army that keeps pace with modern warfare. In fact, reorganizing ourselves to deliver at speed and scale is among the many capabilities we'll deliver to the formations we support. Even during this massive reorganization, U.S. Army Recruiting Command continues to deliver and generate combat power. You deliver within all our initial military training formations, and this is evidenced by capable drill sergeants who train, inspire, and lead new soldiers. And you deliver in every hometown across America as recruiters find and hire talent. Considering that pressure to deliver day in and day out, it might be easy to lose perspective. It might be easy to lose perspective along the miles of roadway between meeting potential recruits. It might be easy to lose perspective following long weeks of early mornings on the trail. For all of you who deliver for our Army each and every day, who you are, what you do, and why you do it is important. Those who inspire others are never taken for granted. Service to country matters, and no mission associated with national defense is trivial. Every day, you set the condition for victory on a future battlefield. Central to today's ceremony is the uncasing of new colors, and a patching ceremony will soon follow across the echelons here. These actions are not superficial. They signal an important transformation. Transformation of the organization and transformation of the associated culture. This signals you will do things in new and different ways, not just to keep pace, but to get ahead. Activated in 1964, U.S. Army recruiting played a vital role from the start. The war in Vietnam exposed deep flaws in the legacy draft system and highlighted uneven preparation across our force. The Army needed a modern, technically adept force, and the status quo was not delivering. For USAREC's first decade, the word sporty comes to mind. It also falls well short of the challenges that team faced. As this first decade of U.S. Army recruiting ended, the Yom Kippur War revealed the volatility of the international security environment and the need for a professional and responsive Army. Together, these combined operational and institutional challenges forced the Army to confront a hard reality. The Army needed to fundamentally change to field the force that modern warfare demanded. Back then, in addition to creating and fielding major weapons platforms, M1 tanks, M2 Bradleys, the UH-60 and AH-64 helicopters, among others, General Creighton Abrams, the Army Chief of Staff, also created the modern Ranger Battalion. People, soldiers committed to the highest of standards. This period, too, was about as much about meeting operational demands as it was about perpetuating culture change. The associated symbols, globally respected hardware, and globally respected formations, became symbols of a new Army fitting of its superpower status. Organizational and cultural change is powerful, as are the symbols and tales associated with them. Depending on which version of history you heard about our Army's Cold War journey to become the Army of Excellence, TRADOC often gets most of the credit. After all, they modernized the post-Vietnam Army, rewrote doctrine, and rethought how we fight. The Ranger Battalions get the credit for inspiring excellence in fighting. Both justly deserve their hard-earned reputations. However, it's time that we recognize USAREC for your organization's role in fielding the all-volunteer force, setting the all-important foundation for a modern professional Army. In response to real challenges many years ago, USAREC revolutionized recruiting. USAREC built recruiting brigades. USAREC established recruiting stations in hometowns. USAREC professionalized how we recruit. USAREC established the original all-voluntary force generation pipeline, and USAREC pioneered marketing and outreach campaigns, all things the Army had never attempted before. In turn, USAREC achieved incredible success. The all-volunteer force, the envy of all other nations, became the most capable, most professional fighting force the world's ever known. From the original "Be All You Can Be" to today's renewed campaign, "This Will Defend," these slogans succeed because they speak about fundamental truths that members of this command, recruiters, cadre, drill sergeants, embody these slogans to inspire generations. Today, in an eerie parallel to the situation faced by the first leaders of USAREC, today we stand at another inflection point. Rapid change, global instability, and the evolving character of war demand that we transform. And again, USAREC is at the forefront of that adaptation. The tools may be different: AI-enabled analytics, digital outreach, advanced market modeling, and new talent matching systems, but the mission remains the same. Find the right people, put them in the right roles at the right time to set conditions for long-term success, theirs and ours. In many ways, USAREC is leading the rest of us in transformation, leveraging a wider team that extends well beyond your demonstrated recruiting competencies. This USAREC includes the Army Enterprise Marketing Office, U.S. Army Cadet Command, and all of our initial military training at our branch schools and training centers. This command has increased visibility and control over the entire Army force generation pipeline. With these expanded responsibilities, USAREC oversees a soldier's journey from the first contact to their first unit of assignment, from identifying America's talent to accessing and shipping recruits, to training them, to developing tomorrow's leaders. USAREC now shapes the entire pipeline of our warfighters' journey. With recruiters and drill sergeants on the same team, this is enormously impactful. As we look ahead, one truth becomes clear. Transforming the Army begins with transforming how we build it. Capability is more than equipment. It's the training, doctrine, sustainment, and most importantly, the people. There's always a lot of focus on materiel. Yes, we need to reform our approach to acquisition to field new equipment faster. However, technology alone never transformed warfare. People did. Again, organizational and cultural change is powerful. Today's unveiling of your new colors and your new patch, the symbol of U.S. Army recruiting, serves a purpose in yet another sporty period in history. I want to acknowledge the leadership of Command Sergeant Major Monday and General Davis and the rest of the command team. You've been a part of this organization at a pivotal time, facing the Army's most pressing challenge. Recruitment has seen significant progress under your leadership. We exceeded our recruitment goal last year, and this year, ahead of the Army's 250th birthday in June, we already reached our recruitment goal, contracting over 61,000 future soldiers. Simultaneously, we've exceeded our annual goal of accessions by shipping more than 63,000 recruits to basic training. And the Army's delayed entry program has an additional 20,000 recruits in the queue. nearly double the number from last year. And this multi-layered success, while simultaneously transforming, is a testament to your leadership. General Davis, Sergeant Major Monday, your teammates and fellow plank holders in U.S. Army Transformation Training Command, and all the formations and soldiers we serve are fortunate to have you leading U.S. Army Recruiting Command. Thanks for all you continue to do for your units, your soldiers, and the Army. Keep crushing it. From vision to victory, this will defend.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Commanding General, United States Army Recruiting Command, Lieutenant General Johnny Davis.
Well, first of all, thanks, sir, for the kind words and the time to take, this is a big historic day for all of us, and that you, having been in the seat for about 30, 45 days yourself, much of that being the government shutdown, and you being here today means so much for this wonderful command. Well, first of all, it's great to see everybody. Like I said this morning, welcome to the North Pole. It's a little cold out there. But before I begin, I'd like to highlight our wonderful color guard who've been out here. Let's give them and our salute battery and those who have supported this a great round of applause. Thanks, guys. To all of our distinguished guests, Army marketing superstars, recruiters, drill sergeants, both active and Army Reserve, our instructors, our professors of military science, and our wonderful Army civilians, what a historic day for our Army and the fourth generation enterprise. Thanks again for joining us as we officially activate T2Com's fourth generation command, your very own United States Army Recruiting Command. This major milestone is transforming our Army because the work we're doing is shaping the future leaders who will fight and win on the battlefield of tomorrow. We owe it to them to get it right throughout the fourth generation pipeline. General Hodney, Command Sergeant Major Harris, thanks for your leadership and vision as we integrate our fourth generation missions into Transformation and Training Command. Your efforts have laid the foundation for a powerful future force, and the activation of USAREC as the Army's primary fourth generation command is not just a change in structure and culture, it is a reaffirmation of our unified commitment to the mission of recruiting and training the best. For the first time in history, recruiters, drill sergeants, ROTC, JROTC, marketing are assigned, both Army active and reserve are assigned to the same command. This is so very important and so historic, and I like to highlight, I know we got the 80th Training Command, Commanding General, Major General Mike Doherty, who traveled here to be part of what this Sergeant Major Davis. I just want to highlight we're all one Army family in this fourth generation pipeline. I just want to thank you both. This is very important because it creates efficiency, reduces unnecessary layers, and opens the door for crosstalk. Absolutely, we want reception battalions, brigade, basic training brigades, and AIT leaders to talk weekly with our recruiting battalions, our brigades, and our division leaders. I want ROTC and JROTC leaders to talk with Army Marketing Office. I want everyone to talk and keep this pipeline going for the good of the United States Army and take us into the future, because you will one day, some of you will lead this organization as the next plank holders of this command. We're all one big family now, and it is our mission to deliver and train warriors throughout the entire human capital pipeline. A 15 Charlie or 92 Romeo who enters the pipeline should graduate as a 15 Charlie or 92 Romeo after navigating the reception battalion, basic, OSUT, and AIT. Together, we will continue to innovate, adapt, and overcome, ensuring the Army remains ready and manned to defend our nation. To the superstars of USAREC, I humbly request your support to help drive this transformation with the same passion and commitment that has defined our mission for decades. Let us move forward with confidence, motivation, trust, and inspiration. Again, thanks for your dedication, your service, and your unwavering commitment to excellence. Together we will build the Army of tomorrow, and I know our Army is in good hands. And I just want to say thanks to each and every one of you. And again, for everyone who took the time to attend today from, Command Sergeant Major Monday and myself and all of our USAREC family. God bless you all. We love you. Thanks for taking the time to be here. Be all you can be. Warriors start here from vision to victory. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing and singing of the Army Song. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's ceremony. General Davis and Command Sergeant Major Monday will remain on stage for the receiving line, and they invite you to the cake cutting and no-host social at Sam Adams starting at 1700. Thank you for being with us today.